Hello guys, my name is George Wilkinson and I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. This is the Global Scholar YouTube channel. Now, if you are new to this channel, I share highly valuable information for anyone planning to study abroad. This includes tips for international students, how to secure offers from some of the leading educational institutions in the world, the latest scholarship opportunities and how to apply for them, grants, exchange programs, free courses and more. And so if you love stuff like this, subscribe and become part of this community. I'm very excited about a new academic year which is just around the corner. A lot of international student hopefuls are preparing for this new phase of their life. What excites me most about this new academic year is that COVID restrictions have been lifted, and so there will be a return to face-to-face studies. In the previous video, I talked about pre-traveling preparations where I went over some tips and pointers to help you prepare as you've received your student visa, you've received your Tier 4 student visa, the preparations you need to make in order to travel to your study destination or to your university. So if you haven't watched that video, you can go back and watch it. I also put a link in the description box below. I've also covered a video on the step-by-step processes in applying for your Tier 4 student visa. I'll also link it in the description box below. You can check it out. Jumping straight into today's video, I want to talk about arrival and settling in. I want to give you some heads up and some pointers. So once you arrive, to enable you or to help you to settle in very quickly. Now, there are some things that you need to get done as soon as you arrive, and I'm going to be talking about it in this particular video. So if you're ready, let's jump straight into today's video. Now, depending on the circumstances, you may be required to quarantine yourself for some period of time because COVID protocols still apply. And so you may be required to isolate yourself for some period. I think for the UK now, it's about, you will need to isolate for some period of time once you arrive at your study destination. And so one of the heads up I want to give you is that, and I said it in the last video, is to pack some food along for your quarantine period. Nonetheless, you will be allowed to go out to purchase food and groceries whilst you are still in quarantine. That is allowed. But aside that, you are not allowed to go anywhere else. And so please bear that in mind. Now, once your quarantine period is over, hooray, here are a few things I suggest you get done immediately. Now guys, sorry I'm doing this insert right here. I think I missed a very important information or a very important step, and it's the reason I'm doing this insert. Sorry, my camera is very terrible at night. But anyways, the very first step or the very first thing you need to do once your quarantine period is over is to go for your BRP, which is your biometric residence permit, at your nearest post office. And so in applying for your student visa, you will be required to state where you'll be staying and the nearest post office which will be closest to you, or the nearest post office to you. So once your quarantine period is over, you can't go over to the post office and collect your biometric resident permit. So you need your BRP for the other things that I'm going to be talking about next. First is to buy a SIM card and buy a call plan. Now, this will enable you to stay in touch with your colleagues, with your flatmates, with your friends, and even your contacts back at home. It's very important, and you need it. Also, when you're purchasing your call plan, be sure to purchase one which has sufficient data package, just so that you will be able to be connected to the internet on the go. Now, the second thing you need to do is to find out about the transport system in the town or area where you will be residing and studying. For most areas, you can download the transport app and be able to buy a bus ticket on the go. But I still suggest you find out what solutions or what options there are to you in your town and to be able to register for it. So if you need to download an app, I suggest you download the transport app, just so that once you need to move around town, you can be able to purchase your ticket and to be able to move easily around town. Now, in connection to being able to purchase a SIM card and a transport ticket, the next most important thing you should do is to open a bank account. There are some banks which are purely digital. An example is Monzo, and another example is Sterling. And so with these banks, You just have to download their apps, go through the registration process on the app, and your bank account will be open for you. Personally, when I arrived in the UK during my quarantine period, I downloaded Monzo and I registered online on the app. And in a couple of days, my bank card was sent to me. Now, the way Monzo operates is that your account is on your phone, on your app. If you need to make a deposit in your account, there are several shops around that you can just walk in and make a deposit into your account. So it functions exactly like any other bank's account, just that Monzo is purely digital. There are no physical buildings or physical branches that you can walk into. You can't open one with a traditional bank where you can walk into any branch and open a bank account. I suggest you find out about student accounts, especially for international students, when you walk into any of these traditional banks. Now, if you're looking at picking up a part-time job, the next most important thing you need to do is to register for insurance number, which is called the NI. For most places, to be able to gain a student job, they will ask for your NI number. And so if you have plans of working while studying, then I suggest as soon as you arrive, you apply for your NI. I'll put a link to the NI website below, and you can get in touch with them and find out all the information you need to know about applying for your national insurance number. Next, you need to visit your university and obtain your student ID card. And it is fairly easy to obtain. Personally, I walked into the student registration area at the Robert Gordon University, and my ID card was printed for me instantly. Now, there are several offers and packages that are available to students, and for some shops or vendors, they will require to see your student ID card. So it's just prudent to get this as quickly as possible and have that at hand. Whilst you are at your uni obtaining your student ID card, I also suggest you request for introductory letters. You will need an introductory letter sometimes in certain circumstances, especially when opening a bank account at a traditional bank. So be sure to ask your student body or your university for introductory letters. Usually this should be fairly easy to obtain, and you should be able to have them within a couple of minutes. Still with your university, they will provide you a list of health facilities where you need to register with a general practitioner. If you remember, when applying for your UK student visa, you did pay a health surcharge. So once you get to the UK, you must register with a general practitioner or at a health facility, just so that you will be able to see a doctor, or that will be your point of call when you are not feeling so well. So get in touch with your uni. They will provide you with a list of options or health facilities that you need to register at. Now, if you are living in a private accommodation, the next important step that I need you to take, or you must take, is to find out who your energy supplier is. For most homes, there will be a gas and electricity supplier, and for some homes, just electricity. But whichever one there is, you need to find out who your supplier is. And one of the best ways to find out is to ask your landlord or your letting agency. Also, there is a website where you can input your meter number and your postcode and find out who your supplier is. I'll put a link in the description box below. But essentially, it is important to find out who your supplier is and how you will be making the payment of your monthly bills. Also, if you live in a private accommodation, it is also important to apply to your local council for council tax exemption. Students are exempt from paying council tax, so you need to apply for exemption. Usually what happens is that a bill will first arrive in the mail, and you will be given instructions on how to apply for exemption if you are a student. Otherwise, you need to ask your landlord or your letting agency and follow the instructions as to how you can apply for exemption. The final tip I would leave with you is explore the local shops around you and find out which will be your preferred in terms of shopping. The most popular shopping outlets in the UK include Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrisons, Asda, Lidl, Co-op, Iceland, and so much more. If you find these shops around you, I advise you visit them and compare prices in terms of groceries and decide on which shop will be your preferred shopping center. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today's video. I hope this was valuable to you. If it was, smash the like button and let me know in the comment section below if you have any other questions, and I'll be sure to answer your question right away. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel right away and become part of this community. I'll come your way again soon with another video. My name is George. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Bye bye.